It's funny you mentioned that advertisement for Cape Air. I don't know if you remember the first time I brought you to the Adirondacks. We flew from Detroit right after we were married. We flew from Detroit to Saranac Lake.
Okay. No, I don't recall that. Wow.
And then there was a shuttle or a cab or something that brought us to downtown Lake Placid, where we wanted. Oh, I know what happened first. So we got off the little plane, and my backpack, I had some Yukon Jack in a plastic bottle, and it broke open.
Oh no!
So it was all over my backpack. So we're at the Saranac Lake Airport. I'm trying to dry out my backpack, but we both had backpacks. Okay. So we got.
Well, that was the history for sure.
Yeah. So we got to downtown Lake Placid, and we needed to get some Coleman fuel for our lantern and for our little stove, our Svea 123 backpacking stove, which we got as a wedding gift from Lou and Charmaine.
Yes.
Wasn't that nice? Yes.
Awesome.
So we got the Coleman fuel at EMS in Lake Placid. And then we were heading up.
I'm trying to how did we connect with Lou and Charmaine?
You connected with him when you went to California before we got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So.
They're characters.
Yes. So we got the Coleman fuel, and we were heading up to the high peaks. And unfortunately, you had a brand new pair of hiking boots, which were not broken in.
Uh-oh.
So we had to walk along the road to get to the trailhead, and it was 2 or 3 miles. And by the time we got to the trailhead, your feet were just killing you. They were just killing you. So we stopped at, I believe it's Johns Brook Lodge, where it's a hiking hut and place and little restaurant cafe. And we took a break there. And then we hiked up from there to Lake Tier of the Clouds.
I know I recall that, but that's about it.
The headwaters of the Hudson River.
Okay.
And we camped there.
Yep.
What was really nice about that, because there was a dam holding back some of the water, was that the water that was in the pond there, held back by the dam, was warm. But there was also a stream coming down from Mount Marcy.
Now you're getting what you want.
Which was cold water.
Yes.
So we had hot and cold running water at our campsite. But yeah, we after that we had a real nice time. We had a real wonderful time hiking around the high peaks. And, for the life of me, I can't remember which peaks we ended up hiking up. But I was still working at Burroughs at the time. All right?
Okay.
I think you were still teaching. So after we did our camping and hiking thing up by Mount Marcy, we were heading back to Lake Placid, and then we were going to fly back to Detroit from Saranac Lake. But I vividly remember, Lake Placid was still pretty high class,
Yeah,
expensive.
they're more on that
Yeah.
category.
But we both walked into this really nice restaurant carrying our backpacks and muddy boots. And we, at that point, we just had a really nice meal. And then we flew back to Detroit. It was our first time in the Adirondacks together.
Yeah, from Detroit to the Adirondacks.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that Cape Air reminded me because, they fly from Boston to Saranac Lake.
They do?
Yeah, that advertisement you found. So, that was nice. We had a good time.
Wow. If you hadn't reminded me, I wouldn't have, given it some adequate stuff. Just to be so excited about it, It's great.
Of course, the next time, maybe that's a different story, but the next time we went, we were hiking the, what's the name of that trail? The Northwood Lake Placid Trail.
Yes, yes.
And we had sent, what you can do is what we did was that we prepackaged some food and we sent it along to the different ranger stations along the way, along the trail. So
somebody just thought about it, or they knew?
Yeah, I'd read that you could do that.
Oh, okay.
So we had prepackaged some freeze-dried food and stuff like that, and sent it ahead. And we had Maverick, I believe, at the time, our dog. Unfortunately, what we didn't reckon with was the mud. It was so incredibly muddy. Muddy. Unbelievable. So, Maverick had his little pack that he carried his food in. So that was strapped to his back. And we had our backpacks. And it was so muddy, like in some places the mud was up to our knees. And we could hardly get through. And Maverick was having such a hard time that we didn't really do the whole section of trail that we had planned on. But we have a picture somewhere where I think it was on a lean-to next to Cold River up in the Adirondacks. And what we ended up doing was staying at the lean-to for a couple of days and washing all of our clothes, because there was a bridge went across Cold River where the Northwood Lake Placid Trail goes. So we ended up washing all of our muddy clothes and letting them dry on the bridge railing in the sun, because it was that bad. And then I think we didn't finish the trek because Dasher, more than anything else, was having Maverick was having a hard time with the mud and that sort of thing. Not that we weren't having a hard time either, but yes, that was memorable.
Wow, thank you for telling me that.
And I think that was the second time we went for a hike in the Adirondacks. I'm surprised that we did any more after that. But it was a challenge, and it was an experience. We made it through. And that was before we had kids.
Yeah. Yeah, those were we have to look back at this and say, and remember that we didn't have the kids. Yay!
I don't think we would have gotten much farther if we had the kids. It was that muddy that I don't know what it was, a muddy summer or something.
I think that it's I don't know off the top of my head, if you got rain, which is going to happen on and off, then that's just going to make it get all mushy.
Yeah. So that was ADK1.